Paul, you've spent the last 30 years researching how some of our most common food habits have increased the spread of germs. And I've just finished your TED Talk and had a lot of my misconceptions blown out of the water. Can you tell us a couple of the main things we need to know?
Yeah, I think the one that seemed to get the most attention is the 5 second rule. That is dropping food on a surface and picking it up within 5 seconds is keeping the food from getting dirty or getting bacteria. But that's a myth. Yeah, the study found out that the surface makes a difference as far as the number of bacteria that are transferred. If we tested tile floor, wooden floor surfaces, and then carpet. And carpet transferred a little less. However, the bacteria seem to survive a little better on the carpet, which you might expect because it's got kind of a pile there to protect it. When we dropped dry food, like a dry white bread and bologna, and both of those picked up bacteria. There was some difference as far as numbers, but the take-home message is that if you drop food on a surface that has bacteria on it, it'll be on the food when you pick it up and eat it.
I found that one incredibly confronting and had to reevaluate my own 5 second rule. I also saw that things like salmonella can last, we think, 5 seconds, but even up to 4 weeks on surfaces. Is that right?
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, we inoculated tile with salmonella, given we did do high levels, but we tested it daily and weekly. Out to 4 weeks, we were still recovering viable cells or cells that could make you sick 4 weeks later. So I guess the take-home message there is if you don't know a surface, who's been using a surface before, like a countertop, you probably want to clean it before you start putting food on it you're going to eat.
What are some of the other behaviours that we need to have a think about? I think you mentioned blowing out candles, sharing food, touching menus. There's a lot of buzz areas where I think we're a little bit too relaxed.
Yeah, I guess taking those, as you said, in order, blowing out birthday candles, transfers from your air, the little water droplets that come out of your mouth, even when you're talking, like now I'm talking, there's little tiny water droplets coming out. Obviously, blowing and sneezing, you're going to produce more and drive more. So if someone's sick and they're having a birthday party and they're blowing the candles out, they're going to be depositing those bacteria or viral particles on the top of the cake. So if someone is at the party that may be immunocompromised, they may not want to share that with them. Restaurant menus. If you think about it, everyone goes in a restaurant, probably touches a menu. If you put your hand in your mouth, eat a sandwich, whatever, transferred again. So it's kind of surface to surface transfer. Kind of a recommendation there would be, order your food. Don't be afraid to go out and eat, but maybe you want to wash your hands after you order, before you eat. If you're going to, especially having a sandwich, something of that nature.
What about double dipping? I have a feeling that my theory that if you turn the piece of food around and don't put the bit that's come from your mouth in, that it's fine, but I'm guessing I'm wrong there.
Yeah, anything that, again, it's a surface to surface transfer, so you won't be transferring what you bit of your mouth, but where your hand was, will be inoculating the dip. And we did that study as well and tested salsa, chocolate dip, and cheese, and found that there was more transfer to salsa when you bit and double dip than there was to cheese and chocolate. And that's because the salsa is a little thinner, so you bite and dip and more falls back in that was been in contact. Everyone's double dipping in the room. You might as well be French kissing everybody in the room. Yeah.
You've obviously done an extensive amount of research, and I think there's so many practical takeaways that we can sort of reflect on now. What would you leave the audience with in terms of a couple of things you would never do?
Yeah, one would be never thaw meat in the sink or outside a refrigerator. Put it in a refrigerator to thaw it. Don't wash your meat because that sprays bacteria that you don't want to, the raw meat around the room. So those are two things that I think are common, not uncommon, that people do that you really shouldn't do. The one thing I guess that is really common sense now and probably doesn't need to be said is really hands. Washing your hands whenever you touch the surface or think you touch the surface, shaking hands or doorknob or whatever. If you can, this is a big one. Don't touch your face. In order to get sick, something has to get in your body to make you sick. So do your best to prevent that.